Hey everybody, and welcome to the neck pour. This is a concept on the channel where I go blind into a bottle. Kind of, the whole point is to be like you guys. You know, I want to give you an idea what your initial impression might be of a bottle. And here, today, I have the Kilchoman Machir Bay. Now, this is one that I've done extremely minimal research, and that will always be the point of these style of videos. I don't want to come in with preconceptions other than that I know this is an Islay and that it is peated, right? So let's go ahead and just jump right into the Kilchoman Distillery Machir Bay. Now, this is their flagship bottle. So it's going to be what they... Ooh, that was cool. It's going to be what they think is their best representation. Now, first off, I'm going to kind of go over some details, but I do want to make these videos quick, right? When I open this up, it's interesting already. This cap here is like a wooden cap, and as soon as you see it, it's such a stark contrast to that blue. It's actually like visually pleasing. I don't normally go too much into that whole thing, but I just have to point out where marketing is good marketing, and this looks really cool. So let's go ahead and give this a pop. Yeah, that's pretty good. I always smell the cork first. I don't know if you guys do. Let me know if you do, because I just always have to. It's almost like I can't wait. I do it when I open wine as well, or rum, or really anything. All right, so it smells a little bit peaty on the cork there. Maybe even a little bit of hint of bourbon casks, which I will tell you, this is mostly matured in bourbon casks. And you know that from the front of the box. Again, trying not to get too much into any sort of pre-research here. So what you can tell from the back box here when you're looking is that this is probably about 90% bourbon, 10% sherry finished. Or matured, actually, probably, in this case. So I have no idea how old this is. It doesn't say, so I'm presuming this is a no-age statement. Usually it will say right on the bottle if it needs to. So yeah, I would guess this is a no-age statement. It's 46% alcohol, distilled, matured, and bottled at Kilchoman Distillery. And now I do happen to know that Kilchoman kind of does all of their own stuff. And that's one thing that's really cool. And I believe, don't quote me on this because I haven't researched it yet, I believe that's unique among Islay, is to have grown and distilled and matured and bottled all in your own place. So Kilchoman, at the very least, I know kind of did it. They were, I believe, the first new distillery in like 125 years, something like that. So, all right, let's just go right into the whiskey. So you buy this bottle, you open it up, you pour it, and you can't wait because there's a no-age statement. So there's no rule of letting it sit, right? Because we don't know how many minutes to let it sit per year. So we are just going to get right into this thing, and let's go ahead and give it a nose. All right, already I like this. Now I will say, I know so many of you guys are just hardcore bourbon people, and that's totally awesome. Like, bourbon is a great place to go, and there's so many good bourbons out there. And you know, if you expand into like just general American whiskeys or rye, whatever, awesome. My personal favorite place to be is this island of Islay. Everything off this island so far I have really liked. I will say Bowmore 12 didn't really like blow my socks off, but if I had to think of another one that I didn't love right off the bat, like, it's hard to think of. Maybe the Ardbeg, but that was more my own preconceptions getting in the way. So, all right, when I smell this, immediately I've got peat smoke, but it's very delicate. It's nice and light and airy, a little reminiscent of the ocean, but not as much as you get on something like a Talisker or some of the Ardbegs. Yeah, a little bit salty. It's getting there. It's opening up a little bit. Smells very sweet. Starting to get a little bit of the bourbon influence on the nose here. It's getting a little richer and darker just as I kind of get into this. This is great. Now, I will say this is one of my first drinks of the night. I had a brandy like 2 hours ago, so I'd say I'm pretty good from that, meaning palate cleansed. All right, let's go ahead and have a sip. Cheers. Oh, interesting. Much more way more delicate than I expected. I was expecting this to be a bit more of a shock to the mouth. Now, I will say that the peat smoke is coming out in the finish, not so much in the forefront of your palate. You're not getting on the tip of your tongue. You're not getting the mid palate. You're not getting it really even in the back of your throat. You're feeling it after you've swallowed. It goes down and then peat smoke back up. really good. I do like when that happens because I feel like it's concentrating on what makes this not just a peated whiskey. What separates this from, say, Lafroig? And that's no diss on Lafroig. They've got awesome quality. I'm more saying that I always feel like Lafroig is just like a one-trick pony, right? Some of their Carchis and stuff get a little complex. But anyway, we're talking Kilchoman. So right off the bat, first thing I'm getting, other than that peat, which did come right back up, is sweet and delicate. It's like a lemony flavor. There's definite heavy bourbon influence. This is, I don't know where they're getting their barrels from. I'll find that out for the formal review, hopefully. But it's definitely taking some of the vanilla notes, maybe a little bit of butterscotch, but I'm going to have another sip in a minute, see if that gets a little bit more evolved. So lemon, butterscotch, vanilla, peat smoke. Let's see what comes up next. A little bit more salt air on that one. Just a little bit. It's got a drying kind of, it's not tannic though. It's, I don't know. It's interesting. There's something else here that I'm trying to pick out. And I get it in a lot of these. It's not quite a cigar ash, but it is definitely kind of an ashy flavor. Definitely, what do you want to say? It is reminiscent of many other types of Islay whiskeys, which is probably why I like this immediately. In the odd chance that Swami, you're watching this, you were right about Kilchoman all along. So, non-chilled filtered natural color. That's great. I mean, you could tell with this color. Yeah, I would imagine. I'm a fan, like immediately. I think this is great. I'm excited to see what else Kilchoman does. They've got probably about 9 or 10 different expressions just near me. I might be exaggerating there, but there's a lot of them. And I know for a fact, because I saw it on a table, and I didn't know Machir Bay was their flagship. I actually had to Google it while I was in the store. But there was another one, and I can't remember the name, where it was pretty much the opposite as far as the maturation goes. So this was 90% bourbon, 10% sherry, roughly. And I think the sherry, if I'm remembering correctly, probably closer to like 80% sherry or maybe 70% sherry and 30% bourbon. So that one might be my next one I pick up after this one, just to see that contrast. Okay, so anyway, that does it for this episode of the neck pour. So keep in mind that the neck pour is not really a thing, but I like the name, so we're going to go with that. All right, I will see you guys in a couple of days for the formal review. Talk to you soon. Cheers.